AI is not going to replace a lender or a real estate agent, but what will happen is agents and lenders that are utilizing AI will replace you.
What other little nuances that people may not think of that
Sure.
you could...
We were able to find a chain of someone who passed away. We were able to find the cemetery. We were able to track down people to clear title, isolate homes in a zip code, and find
The Real Estate Show with Pat Lopez, where we talk everything real estate. Today, my guests are Stacy and Bruno from the Dream Team One and AI Unlocked. Stacy, Bruno, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us back.
Thanks for having us back, Pat. Love you guys.
There you go. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk real estate, and then we're going to talk about social media AI with real estate. Okay, so we're talking real estate. We're talking real estate, but it's going to be a little bit of everything. Okay, so you guys work for Home Smart Realty Advisors. That's your broker, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Perfect. And you're married to each other, right?
Yes, we are.
She'll have me.
Okay, so my first question, and I know you get this question all the time, how is it like working together and then playing together?
Well, listen, both have to be equally as fun. I mean, work is work, but when you're doing something that you love in real estate and love one another, we make it fun, we make it adventurous, and we make it worthwhile just in our lives daily and then for all of our clients. So we really do have a huge impact. I think a husband and wife team matters because I think that we can relate to a lot of people together and then individually if we're on showings and if
Right.
we're at appointments. So I really do feel like we have a good impact.
We always make the analogy of two carpenters could be partners, but a carpenter and a roofer would be better. Stacy and I have different skill sets. She's from a legal background. I'm from a technology background, and we implore couples to consider that. People say, oh, I could never work with my wife or my husband. And we say, well, of course there was some growing pains there, but who can you trust more to be your business partner?
Right.
We keep one calendar, we have one business checkbook, we have goals that are set aligned. And, we find that it was easier to work training each other in respected fields to work together toward one opportunity instead of, us living separate lives and then just coming home to dinner at night.
Right. Very good. Okay, and that has to be like your clients, everybody, like I'm sure everybody asks you that question, right?
People do. They think it's harder than it is.
Actually, our name's like Stacy Bruno.
Right.
Stacy. It's almost like one.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so you sell real estate. Like, what is your footprint? What areas do you cover? And do you deal more with buyers or more with sellers or equally? What does that look like?
We actually deal with both heavily on both ends of the spectrum. We really do connect with people that are selling their homes after 45 years and the kids have left the nest and they're looking to downsize. We deal with first home buyers, all age brackets. We understand the age bracket from spectrums.
Yeah.
So we really do have a huge
we moved
impact
into
on
Pine
that.
Valley, where Pine Valley is, if people don't know, 19115, we're right where Bucks County, Montgomery County, and Philadelphia County meet. We can go an hour in every direction. So we handle all the main counties of Pennsylvania. We have teams in Florida. We also have teams in Jersey. We handle the Carolinas. And these are teams, when I say that, we've met with them, we've
Right.
worked with them, so we try to let our local friends and family and spirit know that no matter where you're moving in the country, if not the world, give us a call. Let us do some of that vetting for you.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so we established your agents, you're married, we covered that. So let's talk about what I really want to talk about is AI. Now, Bruno, you mentioned you came from a technology background.
Sure.
Is that how you got into the social media / AI?
Yeah, 100%. Stacy, when I was between contract jobs, when I worked in the gaming industry doing security work, Stacy had introduced me to real estate, and we had found that, technology is big in real estate, obviously. So AI's been with us. I've been studying AI for over 20 years. When you go to your favorite Netflix and it says movies you think you like, or you call your Alexa, that's AI.
Right.
And that's been with us for over a decade, but now it's called open AI. They allowed us to start seeing what scientists and mathematicians have been using for decades, and you're seeing it come fast and furious, but it is here. And we use these lines like, AI is not going to replace a lender or a real estate agent, but what will happen is agents and lenders that are utilizing AI will replace you. So, you will be able to have to learn those tools so that you can stay ahead of the pack. No different than Microsoft or when the internet first came out, if you're as old like us.
Right.
Things like that. So they're the things that we're trying to help people go through.
Okay, so we're going to get into the book that you wrote, and you have another one coming out, part 2, I guess. Well, and then also all the lectures and teachings that that you do on top of your real estate practice, which is crazy because you guys are running around like chickens without heads. But how are you utilizing AI to help you, streamline you, and make you more efficient in your real estate practice? And of course, you can use it for any business, but how are you specifically using it?
So,
So it came, for about 2 years now, people were asking us what we were doing on social media and how we were able to connect and have that high visibility there. It was definitely through ChatGPT and our Canva affiliates and everything else that we were able to utilize our time to gain 8 to 12 hours of our days back by learning how to utilize our generators as our virtual assistants. And that's really how it helped us excel in our business. It's never, ever going to replace the humanality of your experiences and your relationships. In my opinion, I don't care. A robot's never going to replace those instincts that you have in humanity.
yeah, like images and,
But all the other things that you can gain from that.
Yeah, Stacy does a lot of images, open house flyers or, happy birthday cards and poems and things like that. But the more wonky end of it is, when we came, I showed you some of the automation, the workflows, where our website and our social media is scraped. What that means is it's tracking for emails, it's looking for leads. When we get calls from any of our lead sources, we have showing time, which is automated, and then the automation will then go into our database, and a lot of that, it's a little bit more advanced, but it's coming, and we're helping people implement that into their day. Yeah, through the workshops. We're helping people to begin to implement some of those tools.
Okay, and then now with AI or ChatGPT, there's plugins like Canva, like you're able to, create like avatars, all that, all integrated, all that. Now that's the one you have to pay for, right? Because there's the free and the pay, or
so there is a free version, and that's good for a beginning portion, but we would heavily recommend the $20 a month investment.
How much is an espresso martini these days?
$20.
And that's for just one drink in 15 minutes. This one you get for a whole month, and it's unlimited, and you can really gain value because we utilize it for everything.
It's all we use now. We don't use any other websites anymore.
Google. We don't use any of those search engines anymore.
You don't need bookit.com. You don't need,
really don't.
Hotwire. You don't need any of those sites anymore if you're using your prompting correctly and, you're training your GPTs the way that Stacy and I do. We chose chat, and we talk about these in our workshops. Right now, and this, I'm going to check this stat before Friday's class, just to plug the, the KW. Yeah, they sold out this week for Friday. Good job, Sue. We love you. Over 50% of all of the AI downloads are still with ChatGPT. I would think it's higher than that now.
Right.
A lot of the programs that we're using every day already has it built in. WhatsApp, Canva, CapCut, Adobe. There's a lot of things that already have the back end of OpenAI. So that's why your iPhone soon will no longer see Siri. It will have an OpenAI source. So that's why we chose chat, so that people start to understand how to prompt through chat. And then you'll understand the future better.
The second portion of that is because it's user-friendly.
Right.
Very, very user-friendly. If you're not tech savvy, which a lot of us aren't, if you don't have an engineering background, it's very scary. So the workshops that we have been providing and implementing for people's businesses, whether it be real estate or any other thing, it is helping people dramatically save time and be more efficient in their work.
Who's our oldest participant so far?
84 years young.
Lee, shout out to Lee Barry. 84
years
She
young.
does 10 to 12 million
10
a
to
year.
12 million still in sales, and she travels the
And she's
world,
using AI.
and she's using
Right.
AI, and she was at one of our workshops, and she was one of our testimonials, and if she can do it,
Anybody can do it, right? Okay, so you mentioned producing some open house flyers. You mentioned, like descriptions for listings. What other things obviously when you get leads, it comes in and it uploads to the CRM, and you follow up that way. But what other little like nuances that, people may not think of that you could do?
Deep research. We had a title situation. Obviously always use your licensed professionals. These are just help tools. These are not going to replace, title searches and Lexis and things, but they're close. We were able to find a chain of someone who passed away. We were able to find a cemetery. We were able to track down people to help one of the attorneys, find the chain and clear title. They're the kinds of things. Stacy was able to isolate homes in a zip code and find a handful of homes that don't have a mortgage. Why would that be important? Well, you can make cold calls to those folks first and see maybe if they're ready to sell.
Right.
So there's a lot of deep research there that, to go through Google, you would go then through Wikipedia or then Yelp and then 3 other websites to finally get to some
one source.
You don't know if it's raw material, if it's fake or true, depending on which news source even cited it, whereas OpenAI is raw data.
Right. And then I heard, not going to say where I heard it, but you went on and learned a little bit about probate.
Absolutely.
Because you were dealing with a couple of families that needed your help, and you were able to research it and give them the information with that as well.
And that's kind of what we're talking about here.
Estate process, you're able to do just figure out some of the basics of the probate, and then obviously bring it to the estate attorney. But I worked in the legal field for 25 years, so I know a little bit about how the legal world goes, but it's definitely a huge help with that, and in a lot of other things. You just have to think outside the box a little bit,
Right. Okay. So you mentioned your seminars that you do. I was at one, and there was like 75, 80 people there. It was packed. It was like sardines. Everybody, you're squeezing them in. You get a crowbar, get them in there, grease them up. Let's see if we can slide some more people in. So you're doing a lot of those.
Yeah.
And it's a balancing act because you still have a thriving real estate business. And I know, that if a buyer or a seller, they think they're the most important human being on the planet, and they want to talk to you 24/7, so and they are exactly. So how are you managing that? And you're even going to Florida or something. You're traveling a little bit with it. So what does that?
We're going to be doing a workshop for PMAR. Shout out to the girls up at Poconos. They invited us to talk to some of their administration, which would be great. We're going to do some private stuff down in Florida. The bottom line is we're really trying hard to up the intelligence level of this area, because this area has always been behind in technology. We're all middle class, blue collar families.
Right.
Most of us don't have white collar parents. Most of us, so we didn't grow up with technology background. So these areas are always work real hard and then learn the technology later. Stacy and I are trying to bring the technology to them now.
And at these seminars, what are you teaching or what are you showing? What does that look like in like a 1 minute little snapshot?
Sure.
So what I think,
3 parts.
We didn't know, it's 3 parts. It's ChatGPT, introducing yourself to your generator. Then,
Let me ask this before. Generator, you said that a couple times.
The LLMs, the large language models, are generators. They're generating information, and then you're using prompts to generate the information out to you. So the generator is, if you're using Gemini or Chat or Leonardo or Perplexity, they're all large language models, LLMs. It's just generators.
It's like the base, like the brain of it, and then you're feeding it information, and
it stores it forever.
It stores it. You want to, in our opinion, we want it to learn everything about us, because it learns our tonality. It learns my tonality is different than my husband's. Everything about us is a little bit different.
And I'll have it write 30 Facebook posts, and it'll have my spirituality in it and the love for my wife and my passion for business already baked into the tone.
Right.
So it takes away.
I have a lot of legal stuff in it.
Yeah.
So it moves me from a different.
But you can see the tones on our Facebooks, on our Instagrams. But after the chat, we show outs integrates with Canva. We have the participants do. We use our house as an example to describe it, and then we have it create. Use the subject to find 3 comparables, and then find do CMA, run a CMA for us for the participants, and they see it happen real time. We tell everybody use their Bright. These are not licensed tools. tools.
Right.
These are just aids, and then from the CMA, we help them create a listing packet and show them how to create, through Canva, the integration of the two programs. And then lastly, and this is only until, I'm glad we're on the show today, Pat, until August 31st is all you have to get into the digital creator program. And then it's going to be done indefinitely. I don't know for how long, to get paid by Meta and for Facebook and Instagram. We're making close to $1,000 a month now just for posting. The monetization of Facebook and Instagram. Now, once they close that, I don't know if you'll be able to get into those and have ads and things getting paid for posting.
Okay.
So we're trying to teach as many agents as we can to help offset all those marketing and branding bills that they have at the end of the month.
Okay, good. Now, and then with your avatar, and because I was there, you were saying, hey, create your own. So you
Sure.
show them how to do that.
We show them how to create images to begin. Yes.
And that's basically the introduction because, our workshops are workshops. So we're not speaking heads on a booth. We are 5 minutes into your program. We are in your devices and you're introducing yourselves to your generator. You're coming up with a name and you are creating your avatar. We do a little bit of like a rap battle and we do fun things.
Oh, you were there, Pat.
Yeah.
Did we talk a lot? Did we talk a lot, or were people mostly working?
No, it's a combination of the two. Absolutely. You say, hey, do this, and absolutely.
Yeah. It's not a speech. It's not.
Right.
It's not a soliloquy of how many deals we did. Or
And I think that's what people are finding most beneficial. You can sit there and say all of these things and it could be all jumbled up to me. Because if I'm not a tech person and I don't know what you're saying, all this is foreign language to me. So if you're in it and we're forcing you to be in it, it's a fully engaged moment. And it's 3 hours of engagement. And that's what we find tremendously.
Right. Yeah.
And those ha-ha moments.
Yeah, because you actually said, hey, type in there,
We
do the
see it.
description. You're actually doing it. And that's the way I learn as well.
Yeah.
Like if somebody just tells me, no, I have to physically do it.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good stuff. So now, what was the inspiration? Why did you decide to write the book and to do this? Where did that come from?
Yeah, so I read a lot of books, and it's just something I always wanted to accomplish. And we got a little slower in January, February, and you'll start to see the Dream Team AI versus the Dream Team One, powered by HomeSmart Realty Advisors. It's going to be two separate companies, and we implore agents, instead of going back to bartending, or if we get slower, and Stacy, if we're going to drive Uber or whatever we're going to do. We said, why don't we try to build a business that's inside of something that we already love?
Right.
Because this is just a small little valley, and then when it peaks back up, we'll have both. And that's happening now. So now real estate's busy again, and we're doing the workshops, but AI is behind it, powering all of it.
Okay, great.
We're busy. Waitlist.
No, you're busy. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Waitlist for workshops now. So it was really great. We didn't know if it was going to be a fully functional, cool, people love it, or if it was going to be a flop. It turned out to be a great thing that people are talking about.
It's a little bit of a
Buzz is
movement.
out there.
Right.
It is. It's a little bit of a
We're
movement.
loving it. We are busy in real estate. We still are doing 4 workshops this month, which we put our blood, sweat, and tears into, and we love it. And we prepare every single time.
See, look at the passion in her face. When people ask us, and they say, Stace, why'd you give away? Why are you telling people? Because when the community of real estate agents is stronger, I think we're seeing a whittling out of some of the part-timers.
Right.
And so now it's left as a lot of the veteran or the full-time agents. So why wouldn't we give them the tools so that their clients are doing excellent, so that when we bring our client, we have an excellent transaction together? Why would we not want to share and make this community as strong as possible, so people want to move to Philadelphia, want to come to Pennsylvania, want to go to Wildwood, because they know they're going to get an Ed Rogers and a Pat Lopez and a Stacy, because they know that this community doesn't care about the brokerage signs from Keller Williams or EXP. You sit here and you work with other lenders.
Right.
We have.
held together really well.
We were at the baseball game. Yeah, Jeremy Bowers bought us tickets to the baseball game. All the EXP guys were there.
We meld together because we believe in the relationships and we believe in building up one another, because at the end of the day, we all work together
We all work
every
together.
single day, whether it be for mortgage.
How many agents have you drug across the finish line, Stace, with because of your contract work? We don't want to drag agents. We want to help agents. We don't want agents that are having a hard time right now to not reach out. We want you to reach out. If we can help you with AI or real estate or contract work, whatever we can do, we want to build this community just like you do, Pat, and just like you going around training at the offices. You're not doing that to make extra. You don't get paid to come to our office. You come to help us learn the packages, right? So I think that what we're all building has been really great.
Okay. Now, if somebody wanted to get your book, how would they do that? Because that could be a nice starting point. And then I guess your website or landing page will show, different places where you're going to be, and they can just get more information because 100%, like I'm the number one person, like technology and me.
You're doing pretty good, Pat.
I don't know.
Shout out to Jared. Shout out to Jared. Jared in the back.
There you go. Well, speaking of that, this show, hopefully I can get up to 30,000 subscribers. I'm over 20,000, so I'm looking for 30. So subscribe. Make sure to subscribe and like the show.
And where can you find the book?
Anywhere.
www.thedreamteam1.com.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's where it is. And we have our
everything
there, we
there.
have our Airbnb there, we have all of our
Merchandise there. And we're imploring people to start using their website as a store for themselves. They can have real estate on there. They can have t-shirts on there. There's just a lot of things you can do now that can stay inside the world of real estate, and it can help you offset and do well during those valleys when you're not at a peak.
Say the website one more time.
www.thedreamteam1.com.
That's it.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for being on the show. You are great. Love you guys all the time. I love the look at this outfit. Look at this. I look silly right now, compared to you guys. But thanks for being on the show. Be sure to check out their book, and if you're in the area, check out one of their seminars. Not too many. You only do maybe 4 a month.
Or if you're buying or selling a house.
There you go. Buyers and sellers. That's your full-time job. There you go. Okay. Be sure to follow the show on Facebook and Instagram. Give me some likes, super important, and also subscribe. Like I said, I'm trying to get to 30,000 subscribers. Please help me out, 30,000 subscribers. Also, leave a comment, tell me some show topics you'd like me to cover in the future. Remember, the show is everything real estate, no limits. Hope you enjoyed the show, and I'll see you next week.